Now given the current knowledge that I have of my KUSPO BC200, would I still get it again? Yes, but no. Welcome back, it's John. So KUSPO BC200 long-term review, and I've just realized I can see my own reflection. Whatever. So I've done about 1,000 kilometers on it, and here are some of my thoughts on it, like the performance and how it's holding up and all the other stuff. Now I bought this on AliExpress for $61 US for the computer, the mounts, the speed sensor and all the other accessories. If you just want to buy the computer itself, it's around $52 US. Now I bought this because I wanted an upgrade from my old second computer, the Decathlon BC500, which honestly is plenty if you just need distance, speed, time and all that other stuff. But I wanted a second computer that could pair out properly with a heart rate monitor, a power meter, cadence sensor and all that other stuff. I remember asking the seller if it was compatible with the Garmin power meter pedals. Not that it matters because, well, I didn't get them because they are freaking expensive. So moving on to the things I dislike about my KUSPO BC200. Number 1. The buttons. They are tiny. Absolutely tiny. Here's the buttons compared to my thumb. Yeah, they are very, very small. So out while riding, it's about here and you're on the hoods. Since I'm right-handed, I want to navigate the screens by pressing the buttons with my thumbs. And as you can see, there is more thumb pressing, well, not the button, than actually pressing the button. It doesn't help that the buttons barely even stick out. And also you have to press them quite hard actually to even activate them. So yeah, the buttons are tiny. They are very grippy though. Your hands will never slip because of this rubber thingy. So that's pretty cool. Number 2, the color. I'm talking about these accents over here, these rubber accents. They're orange. And that's the only color they come in. So if you don't like orange, you're screwed. I don't like orange. As you can tell from my bike is all white or black and there's some turquoise accents. So first of all, I don't like orange. Secondly, it doesn't match with my bike, nor my kit. My kit is all black, from head to toe. My helmet, my jersey, my bibs, all that, they're all black. And then you throw in some orange and it just looks awful. My whole room, do you see any bright colors? No, it's very plain looking. And then, yeah, I'm not an orange person, so. Number 3, the pairing with the speed sensor sometimes glitches. Now this only happens like once every 2 rides, I guess. It's not very often. So I'll just be riding along and then I look down and it says 0 kilometers per hour. And I'm like, what? I tried moving my speed sensor from the rear wheel to the front wheel, but to close the distance, but it makes no difference. If you know how to fix the problem, do let me know in the comments, because that would be pretty cool. And yeah, weirdly enough, those are the only complaints that I have about this. The main thing though are the buttons, so hopefully in the future they change it because these are just shit. Also one thing to note, when I sync it to Strava, it says it is a Garmin H520, which is interesting, but whatever. Speaking of syncing, it's pretty easy. Just boot up the ZOS app on your Bluetooth, obviously, put it into sync mode and just sync. You can just go wash your hands or go for a pee, sanitize your hands or something. Doesn't get easier than that. So moving on to the things I like about my KUSPO BC200. Number 1, the build quality. It is amazing despite the price, other than the buttons which are trash. The actual build quality is it's amazing. The mount has not worn out a single bit, other than the occasional scratches because, well, I mean, it's plastic, The actual mount itself, the one where you mount it onto your bike, it flexes a little bit. But I mean, it's plastic, and it only flexes when you kind of twist it in and out. Which, I mean, how often do you twist it in and out? I don't know. But the paint, not a single chip. Impressive. The symbols have not faded one bit. The screen is working fine, this rubber mount thingy does its job, and it's just amazing. It's just a shame that the buttons are absolute shit. Number 2, compatibility. So this thing is compatible with power meters, cadence sensors, speed sensors, the whole lot, because it has NT Plus and Bluetooth. So yeah, I mean that's the whole reason why I got it in the first place, because I wanted a Garmin power meter. I don't know what it's called, Garmin Vector 3 or Garmin Vector 2, I'm not too sure. Those power meter pedals. So yeah, if you want power meters or cadence sensors or speed or whatever, it's a pretty good option for the price. Number 3, battery life. Now from my experience, it doesn't stack up to the self-proclaimed 36 hours. It's only about like 20 or something. But I mean, when do devices ever stack up to what they are proclaimed to last, you know? When someone says the brand new iPhone can last 100 hours, just assume that it can last about 50. Maybe it's because I run at max brightness, but I don't know, who cares? I only need to charge it like once every 5 or 6 rides, so Also, speaking of brightness, because I ride from like 5 AM to 8 AM, it goes from pitch black to I need sunglasses. So yeah, it goes from dark mode to light mode. And from my experience, both of these modes, they are like perfectly bright. You know, it's not too dark, but it's not too bright. Also, while riding in the day, despite the very shiny screen, I've never struggled to read the numbers on the screen once, ever before. So that's quite cool. I also like the cadence and speed sensor because they are one thing. So it's like interchangeable, unlike Garmin, which sells them separately. So if you want cadence, you can just use the speed from the GPS. But if you don't want cadence, you can actually just use it as a speed sensor for more accurate speed reading. So at the time, I was looking for a cheap slacking computer without GPS, as GPS makes it like 2 or 3 times more expensive, like the IG S520 or the Garmin H130. So at the end of the day, I had 2 options, the Magine C406 or this. Now the Magine C406 was quite a lot more expensive at $85 for the computer itself, but you could choose what color you wanted, unlike the Cuspo, which had quite an unpleasant orange color. So the fact that you'd be staring at a computer for the whole ride made the Magine a worthwhile option. But what sealed the deal for me was the specs. The Cuspo has a proclaimed battery life of 36 hours, and as we all know, that is not true. While the Magine has a proclaimed battery life of 30 hours. The Magine has a water resistance rating of IPX6, which is said to be splash proof, while the Cuspo is rated at IP67, which means it can be submerged in 1 meter of water for half an hour. But yeah, I was mostly interested in the water resistance of the Cuspo, as there's nothing more annoying or sad or whatever than your device dying in the rain. Now, given the current knowledge that I have of my Cuspo BC200, would I still get it again? Yes, but no. Yes, because of the build quality. It is what it is. It's fantastic. Other than the buttons, which are just, well, shit. But no, because of the lack of GPS function. Now I know it's cheap, that's why it doesn't have GPS, but currently I'm kind of looking for a computer with GPS. I might be like, oh, why don't you use Google Maps? Or a cycling app or something? Well, I've used it before, but in my country, they just straight up bring me to the highway. Which is dangerous, and is illegal in my country. So yeah, if I want to find out a new route, I have to like memorize it, you know, from scratch. I just look at the Google Maps, and then I take a piece of paper and I write down the important like landmarks and street signs and all that, and I paste it on my stem. So yeah, that's it for today's video of my Cuspo BC200 long-term review. If you have any like questions or something, just leave them in the comments. And if you know how to fix that like glitching speed sensor, also leave a comment. But leave a like and a subscribe and all that, and as always, I will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.